Are you sure we're far enough? Are we far
If
enough
we gain
back?
further back, we'll be in the kitchen
This is Jill for today. We're starting off real swinging here.
with our signature cup of coffee.
In our new, oh, sorry, I took your light
brand
away
new-
from it.
I was just going to say any resemblance to coffee with what we're drinking is
I
purely
thought you liked the
coincidental.
coffee.
It's not what we were drinking before.
Well, no, but you like it, Ralphie. You told me you liked it, Ralphie.
It's palatable, but we used to drink. We have a Keurig, so we used to drink Starbucks K-cups, French roast. I love that coffee.
It's good coffee.
However, after Jill Verde did some research on the amount of and types of pesticides that go on coffee beans, we decided we needed to switch to organic coffee. So we've been experimenting with organic coffees without having to break the bank. And we've tried Paul Newman's. We're trying, what was the,
Well, it's this.
we tried a Kirkland brand. We tried now, this is
Kroger. A lot of people know
Yeah.
Kroger brand.
O Organics. And none of them quite taste as good to
It's all
me
those pesticides.
as the Starbucks. Yeah, it's probably the pesticides. I developed a real affinity for them. But anyway,
How are you?
I'm good. I'm actually sleeping a little better. And
Good.
so, yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm feeling chipper. I am. I'm feeling pretty good.
She's been singing a lot in the kitchen, so that's a very good
He
sign.
likes that part. So I'll tell you what, we haven't been here for a couple of weeks, and I've got a list. So, grab something to drink. It's a long one again. First of all, I have to tell you, this morning, I've been doing some sourdough starters. And I have one that I've just been, it's part of my sourdough series, like I told you before. If you're interested, you can go up there and see the link. Anyway, I digressed. So I've been feeding that one, getting ready to start up some bread again, and it was in the refrigerator. I have another one that I just got, and I'm supposed to feed it daily. So I brought that one out, put the flour and the water in it, start stirring it, and I said, this is pretty thin. And it's a new one, so I'm not familiar with, the nuances. And I said, this is kind of thin, So I said, well, whatever, and I put it back in the refrigerator, and there's that container because the sourdough one is on the counter. Here's this brand new sourdough starter I have in the refrigerator. And now I'm saying, what did I just put flour and water in? Well, it turns out I made cashew cream yesterday for like the first time. Well, now we're plant-based, and so I made my cashew cream again. I put flour and water in my cashew cream, stir it up, got ready to put it back in that fridge, and there it was. Oh well. There you have
As
it.
Forrest Gump said, it happens.
So, all right, so
Oh, you have a list.
where have you been? I said I have a whole list.
I'm deaf.
These are in no necessary order. I had chemo this past week. Oh no, I guess it was a week ago now.
Yeah.
A week ago. And I go in like I normally do. And she brings out, I had to have the special infusion that I have every 6 months. It doesn't matter. It's an infusion I have to have every so often because of bone concerns. So she brings it out and she says, oh, this is like in a glass bottle from like the old days. And I can see it. It's in a glass bottle. She said, we've been really short on supplies and I know that but we're on glass bottles here. Well, I'm not, she's looking at this thing and she's talking to it and she's talking to me. I'm not really sure how I'm supposed to do this. It's glass. I want to be careful. And I said, oh dear. I said, have you done this before with glass? Well, no, but it's going to be okay because I can figure it out. So she gets it hooked up and she's worried about it's going to leak. And then she puts the tubing on it and she says, no, I don't think this is the right tubing. And I said, I'm a little uncomfortable right now. I just don't feel real comfortable. Well, that's okay. We're going to get it figured out. So she takes off, comes back, looks at it again. She says, okay, I've got the right tubing on it now. Now let me get the needle hooked up. And I'm going, I still don't feel, I've got it. I said, are you feeling confident about it? Yeah. And I said, fine. If you're confident, I'm confident. Well, she goes to stick that, and it's not one that goes in the crook of your arm. This is one that goes on the top of your arm here, forearm. Well, she starts sticking that needle into me. She's all over Cleveland looking for the artery. And I said, we're done here. I said, you know what, we're done here. I can't, this is it. I will do it next time I come in. I said, I don't want you to have any lack of confidence. Lack of confidence. I don't want you to have any lack of confidence. Lack of confidence. But I can't do this today. So let's just move on. And she gave me my normal chemotherapy, and I left. I felt bad. She was a very nice young woman, but boy, I'll tell you, it was a bad day at chemo. All right, enough of that.
We've all had those experiences where somebody goes, "What's that?" Or, "What do I do now?"
Uh-oh.
I can remember being in an airport in Atlanta, waiting for my flight, and the plane took off, and we heard an explosion, and felt something hit the plane, and the pilot fortunately landed, because what happened is we'd blown a tire, and it came up and damaged the aileron on the wing. So we're standing around in the airport. We landed safely, and we're standing around in the airport, and we're looking outside at our plane, and there's a half a dozen guys standing on the wing trying to figure out how to fix it. And there's one guy who's obviously in charge. I guess he's the chief mechanic. And you see him go, not exactly inspiring confidence. But
I love that. It's so funny.
anyway,
Now you didn't, was it on a movie we saw that they were using duct tape to fix the wing?
Yeah.
That wasn't you, that was a movie.
no,
we
that
saw.
was a film we saw.
So I don't know whether you are experiencing this in your part of the world, shortages at the grocery store. And, you know, we will put an order, of course we pick up or we have it delivered. You put an order, and of course you have to find $35, at least where we are, $35 for a minimum order to pick up or deliver or whatever. So we're always batting this order back and forth between two stores that we use. Do we have enough on this one? We have too much on this one. Let's put it on this one, because we get different things at different stores. So okay, or the prices are quite a bit different. So we say, okay, you got $35.20. Okay, we can't take any more out of this one. So we go back to the other one and we say, well, we need 10 cents more on this one, but if we take this from that one, but now we're short on this one. So we could do this back and forth, back and forth. But when you place the order,
They don't have it.
they don't have it. It's
Can you
chaos.
imagine two major grocery chains, Whole Food and Fred Meyer, neither of them have green onions?
Green onions.
Come on.
They didn't have green onions. So that's a problem. I call it chaos in the streets. Here we go again. There's food shortages. There's the supply chain breakdown. I mean, you know, I don't mean to be panicking, oh my God, but oh my God, it's just terrible.
There's lots of breakdowns going on in this country. Did you, on your list, that train
No,
thing?
I had wanted to put it on the list. Why scratch this stuff?
We were
Go
watching
ahead.
the news the other night, and they were showing train tracks in Los Angeles, and just miles of just garbage all over the tracks, where people had broken into the train and stolen stuff and just left the tracks littered with garbage. And these were
A
these
mile.
were 3 or 4 tracks wide, and the
Yeah.
garbage just went forever. Looked like downtown Portland now. So
Well, you know what they said is that stuff that was not Amazon or obviously a package of importance, if it was some package that looked unimportant, they just tossed it aside. If it was an Amazon package or something from Target or whoever does major shipping around the country, those are the packages that were busted open, pulled out, and left. So it's a problem. I don't, you know, and do I have an answer? No, I don't. Do you? No, we don't. We
lots
just-
of questions.
a lot of questions.
Not as many answers.
A lot of questions. So it's, yeah. Speaking of talk about panic in the streets and chaos. I don't know how, you know, like we always do this. We have our long coffee, and now we can have extra long coffee because we have big cups.
We finally got big cups to replace our Christmas cups.
Our Christmas
so.
cups finally got retired for the. Anyway, so somehow we got on the topic of fallout shelters. In late 50s, 1961-ish, 62-ish.
Is that when we got on the topic, or is that when they were doing it?
No, when they were doing it.
Oh.
In the Sears parking lots of all places. You'd go to Sears parking lots and they had fallout shelters. Do you remember?
60s,
We talked about this.
Cuban
Missile Crisis, exactly. So 60-ish, one-ish in there. And you'd go there and they would actually have on display to purchase fallout shelters. Did you have those in your community? I mean, I think it's bizarre now looking back on it, but there was the fear. You know, we'd have these fallout drills where you got You got under your desk,
Yeah.
covered your head for
Yeah,
radiation.
like that's going to protect you from nuclear attack, you know. But
So I always thought that was totally weird. Now looking back on it, and of course I thought as a kid this was really cool. You know, to go down in this fallout shelter was like camping. You know, so we never bought one because they were like really, really expensive. Okay, I don't want to scratch that one off because that one's important. Well, I cooked this week. I'm feeling really much better. In general, I'm feeling better. What are you looking at
glad-
me for? I thought you knew I was feeling better. Don't you think I'm feeling better?
if you say so,
Oh no, come on.
don't attack me again.
Don't you think I'm feeling better?
I think so.
Well, now I don't feel well. at all.
No, I mean you're cheery, you're peppy.
Yeah.
I wish I had as much energy as you have.
Well, and, you know,
She's
but
like the Energizer Bunny. She never stops.
I don't. But I do around 4 o'clock start.
I'm thinking
pooping
of
out.
reining her out because she cleans our floor 6-8 times a day. So
You know, it's just not true. But I do watch it. I do
2 to 3
monitor
to
it.
4.
Monitor it closely. Here's the problem: we have dark flooring, and any speck of any sort that falls up on that dark floor,
there's one you missed.
I do see it. It bothers me, and I have to pick it up, or I have to get my Swiffer out and dust Swiffer the stuff, and it does drive me crazy. Excuse me, hold on here, Mr. ACDC, whatever you call yourself. This man is, all right, here's how bad he is. I have socks, you know, and they're in different colors, and the ones I don't want to put in the dryer, so I hang them. Well, I have blue ones, gray ones, and pink ones. I know him well enough to know that if I hang, don't you laugh because it's the truth, if I hang these socks up and I have blue, pink, and then a gray one, and he will sit there and sort them while they're drying. So the blues are together, the pinks are together. Don't you say no.
Well, that's because you'll pull them off and wear mismatched socks.
It's the truth. He does do that. He's that way.
I'm a little anal.
You think? So when I get up and I have to pick up, and that's driving me crazy.
I know that.
That's spot on. Okay, I gotta get it.
So
I got it. Go ahead.
it was so big, I'm surprised she could lift
It
it.
is big. Okay, so we got that. Okay, so I did cook this week because I'm feeling better. But about 3:30, 4 o'clock, I do start to, get
Fade
a little bit. I cooked a couple of really good dinners this week, and I did bake bread once. I made a spinach thing. It was chopped spinach, and I braised leeks, sliced leeks. Then I put in the spinach so it just wilted. And then I put in there brown rice, cubes of tofu, which I had previously cooked a couple of nights prior to that, some cheese. What else did I put in there? Cheese. Oh, some little flax, and put it in a casserole, and I cooked it. And boy, I'll tell you what, and howdy, it was delicious. And
It
then
was good.
We had it the following night, and I wanted to moisten it up a little bit, so I put some of that cashew cream, aka flour water cashew cream. It didn't have it. Anyway, a little of that cashew cream in there to kind of moisten it up, and threw some more spinach and some more rice in there.
Is that the same cashew cream you threw the water and flour in? Oh, okay.
Are you even listening to me today?
Yeah.
I just said, AKA the cashew cream that I threw water and flour in. Where are you?
I don't know.
Where are you? Anyway, and that was leftovers, and it was delicious. So I did that one. And then last night, I fixed us a really good pasta dish. It was pasta, and I chopped up fresh, which he didn't like. He didn't want it. Didn't want to go there. Chopped up cauliflower.
Still not a fan.
It was a beautiful piece of cauliflower, too. Fresh broccoli, fresh cauliflower, sliced up carrots.
She's going to make cauliflower chicken wings for me this week.
I
So
know.
that's about the best shot she's got at getting me to enjoy cauliflower. Bread it and deep fry it. So
And sun-dried tomatoes. And then I cooked the pasta and stirred that all together with just, garlic and shallots. Lots of garlic, lots of shallots. Roasted the vegetables in the oven. And then did pasta and poured it over there. And it was good. With more Parmesan cheese. And it was good. We are falling back into the plant-based world
Yeah.
pretty easily.
speaking of roasting vegetables and plant-based world, You guys need to check out a website called Eat More Plants.
Gotta do it. I'll put
It's a
a
young
link.
man who cooks, and he's doing he does a lot of meat alternatives, but he does a lot of ethnic food too. And we saw him do one it was a Mediterranean feast.
Oh my gosh.
Where he just made 10, 12 dishes,
Yeah,
Mediterranean.
yeah.
And then he serves up this huge platter of food and he eats it. My
That kid
goodness.
knows how to eat.
The man knows how to cook, but he knows how to eat too. Very enjoyable video. Eat More Plants.
And he's plant-based. That's all he cooks. I mean, he's a vegan.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, I will leave the link to his channel and to that particular video because,
Very enjoyable.
and he's got recipes for every kind of cuisine you can think of: Vietnamese, South Korean, Mexican, the Mediterranean.
He did a couple others that I really enjoyed. One was the broccoli beef without beef, and he did a Philly cheesesteak sandwich.
yeah.
But he did fried chicken and mashed
Hey,
potatoes.
thanks for reminding me. I had it here somewhere, so I'm
Okay.
glad you did that. Yeah, so I got that down. Another thing we talked about, people say, "Oh, well, tell us about what." The kids are saying, "I don't want to hear about this." And the old timers like us, they say, "Oh, I love these stories because we remember them well as well." We were talking.
All of us do.
Well, yeah, because you didn't even hear me talking about cashew cream with flour and water in it 2 minutes.
I'm a terrible person.
Oh, you're the bestest. Oh, you're just the cream
lunches.
of the crop. Now, when we were in elementary school, we all brought our lunches. And you think about this in today's world, that those sacks, or even the little lunchbox back there, had mayonnaise and bologna and white bread wrapped in something, stuck in those lunchboxes in the back of the room, and they sat there for, too long.
Till lunchtime.
And it's a wonder that we just didn't all drop dead of food poisoning. Honest to God. I mean, oh my word. And then we moved on. What, honey?
Of course, if you ate in the school cafeteria, it's a wonder we didn't all drop dead of something too.
I wonder really, because we talk about the foods we got, and of course we went to totally different schools in different parts of cities, and he and I talked about the actual recipes, and it sounds like there must have been some master recipe book that they all worked from, because everything sounds the same as what I ate.
The Marquis de Sade recipe book for school cafeterias, yes.
Tuna casserole.
When I'd get to have lunch in the school cafeteria. Well, the one time you didn't want to have lunch in the school cafeteria was Fridays, because it was always a tuna casserole. And we didn't get the good stuff. We didn't get cat chow. We got really rot gut tuna.
Or fish sticks.
Yeah, and our principal of the school, I remember her, Helen Wiggum, tall, very severe-looking woman with her hair black, gray-flecked hair with a bun in the back. And she would stand in the middle of the cafeteria with her arms full, and she would watch people as they went to take up their trays and plates to the place where they washed them. And boy, if you hadn't finished your food, you were sent back to the table. And we always tried to wait on Fridays when they had tuna casserole, if you got stuck having lunch in the cafeteria that day, till she was distracted or stepped out of the room for a minute. And as soon as she did, there was a mass exodus for the trays, dumping them, because that stuff was terrible.
Well, I have to say, as I said, those women, and they were all women, I assume, I'm hoping, but it was always women that worked in the cafeteria. And they worked their butts off in there.
Yeah.
I mean, they got up, they were in there early, they baked the cinnamon rolls and started whatever it was they were cooking. So you have to really and they got out there and they served the food.
But now
the food was terrible.
You can order hamburgers.
Oh my goodness.
Pizza or whatever you want.
Nachos, whatever.
We drive by a high school when we take her to chemo. They have half a dozen or more food trucks out on the grounds of the high school. So
yeah, it's a big difference where it was. Really big difference. Okay, I'm looking here, and I don't know. I got that
How you
one.
doing?
I'm doing great. We're almost down to the wire here.
That's good because they're falling asleep. out
They
there.
left us 20 minutes ago. They left when I was talking about that darn cashew cream by putting
Yeah.
flour and water in it, you know. No, I think the only thing I wanted to mention is I'm going to try a little experiment. I'm going to try to freeze potatoes. I have extra potatoes, russets. And I've seen, and you know me, I freeze celery, I freeze onions, I freeze...
She had meat frozen for a week.
I even say that if you see it in the grocery store, frozen, you can freeze it from home. I freeze eggs. I used to freeze eggs, all that. So I think I can freeze potatoes, and I'm going to chop them up like, you know, a little square, like you would do little squares. And I'm going to try freeze them. I'll see what I can do. What are you looking at? My
I
list.
see your travel disappointments
Oh,
there.
yeah. I was just going to let that go, but go ahead. Now that you let that one out.
Well, just we were
Oh, look at the
starting to
little birds
watch an
out there.
old movie, The Alamo, the other night,
Yeah.
and it's one of the few places that I've actually been to that they make movies about, and I was telling her what a disappointment it was that it looked like The Alamo, and certainly the history is there, but basically it was a gift shop when I was there. Of course, that was back in the late 60s, so I don't know if
Well,
it's
they might have
changed
turned
at
it,
all.
yeah.
And the other disappointment we had,
Almighty,
major
was this
disappointment,
big disappointment.
Plymouth Rock.
Plymouth Rock.
Plymouth Rock. It's a little pit in the ground with a fence around it, and there's a rock with a little plaque.
Oh no, he's not kidding. Would it be
Oh, no, it's bigger.
Well, let's say 3 or 4. I know,
You
not
could step on it.
okay, but maybe 3 feet across.
Yeah,
4 feet
but
across at
it's-
most.
It's just a rock.
And they've got in the rock, like they need to do this, carved into the rock, Plymouth Rock.
I think it was a little brass plaque, wasn't it? Or
You're ruining my story,
anyway,
but I love you
Just-
anyway.
go outside in your garden, dig in the ground, find a rock, and look at it.
Take a felt pen.
Yeah, take a felt tip pen, write Plymouth Rock 1620 or whatever on it.
Oh, I just think you're the cutest
it
thing in the
will
world.
achieve the same
It
thing.
will. Okay, that's enough. Don't you think that's enough?
Uh-huh.
I think we did. Show. Somebody asked us to talk. Oh, we've got one other bonus. Well, we do have a bonus. We have asked Jill a question.
Oh,
Bonus. But someone had asked us about movies or shows. We're watching one on PBS, and it's called. What's it called?
I don't know.
It's the one we just watched number 2 on last night.
Yeah.
The guy who's the psychiatrist, and it's on PBS.
We watch a lot of British.
I can't remember. It is
Shows
British, but I can't remember what the
crime
name. He's a
series.
psychiatrist, and there's a murder, and it's back in the 1800s.
There's always a murder.
Or early 1900s. He's a Freudian instead of
Yeah.
a Mungus.
I remember his name,
What is it?
Max Lieberman, but
Look
that's
up Max
not.
Lieberman.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
We have a bonus today, and if you held on long enough, you're going to get the bonus. As you recall, Ask Jill a Question is on my website, www.jillfortoday.com. I will leave a link down there, and you can ask us anything. Well, you know, within reason. And we'll answer
even
it.
how do we put up with each other?
That's the truth. Okay, so here's the questions. Jean asks, what is, both of you, your favorite memory of your time together so far?
Whoa,
Oh,
that'd be tough.
it would be tough. Yeah.
That'd be tough. We've had so many. We've been together for over 46 years, so
Yeah.
it's really tough. The night we met is a great memory.
Yeah. Bucks was always a great memory.
Bucks was a great memory. Our anniversary dinner at Ondine's in Sausalito was a great
Yeah.
memory. Oh,
You got it?
I got it.
He's got it.
My favorite, I think, was
Uh-huh.
that New Year's Eve in Lake Oswego.
Oh, well, that we told him that
Yeah.
last. I think you're right.
Yeah, I think that was a highlight.
I think
where
so
we-
too. Yeah.
We had a wonderful dinner, got very drunk, couldn't get in the car, and
Walked
ended
it off
up
a little bit.
at a club right on the lake where it had a wall of windows that showed out to the lake, and they had a big band in there, and they were playing old music, and we danced all night.
Yeah, it was
a
the bomb. I think
fantastic
probably
night.
you're right.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the best memories. Okay, this comes from Becky. Becky says, "How do you I love it. How do you both fill your day? I'm newly retired, and with COVID, we are staying home a lot.
We
Becky.
We shop.
Shop
We
online.
read. We visit a lot.
We
We
do.
start the day off with an hour or two of just having coffee and sitting and talking.
Cooking more now.
We listen to music. We watch television.
Yeah.
We clean.
Yeah, I think,
Yeah.
in fact, lots of days I say, oh my gosh, what did we do?
Yeah.
But I think that's it. You know,
My-
it's hard.
My sister is getting ready to retire after working for only 50 odd years. She's my little sister. And, there's no doubt in my mind. She's got children, which we don't have. She's got a lot of grandchildren,
Big diff.
which we don't have. And they all live close to her, fairly close. So she's wondering how she's going to fill her time. She's going to find that she still doesn't have enough time, even after working full time.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So you had one other
One other
question.
question. This comes from Joyce. Not a question for a signature glass of wine, but if you have a recipe you could share for eggplant parmesan, I would love to see you make it. I often make the easy lasagna that you posted, with oven-ready noodles and Gardein meatballs. And it's a hit for parties. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that.
She does have an eggplant parmesan recipe. It will be a vegan recipe.
Well, that's it. She's, yeah, go ahead.
But I don't like eggplant. However, her eggplant parmesan is delicious.
It's excellent.
It's one of the few ways I'll eat eggplant. So
So she says, we have found plenty of plant-based substitutes for meat, but have yet to find a good substitute for cheese in a dish. Well, cheese in a cheese.
cheese is tough.
It is tough. It is tough.
Follow Your Heart makes pretty good vegan cheeses, and so does BioLife.
BioLife's very good.
But there's a lot of others out there. Miyakono's,
It's very expensive.
yeah,
And I don't get
Chow,
that. I hate Chow.
and then Field Roast, whatever they make, I
think they're actually Chow. I
Are
can't.
they?
Yeah, I think so. We tried Forager last night, which Forager products are a little hard to get so far.
and a little more spendy.
Actually, that was less expensive than the Whole Food 365 Parmesan because I checked ounce for ounce.
Yeah.
But it was good. Don't get me wrong. And he says to me, and I said, well, you're going to have to change your taste buds. He said, it's not Parmesan. I said, yes, it is. It's Parmesan.
One thing
It was
nice
good.
about the BioLife is the Parmesan anyway, you can buy in a block. So
Yeah.
you can actually use your shredder to
Yeah.
shred it.
So I would say try those. BioLife. Who else did you?
Follow Your
Heart.
Heart, yeah.
And the Forager.
I had
pretty good.
Follow Your Heart blue cheese dressing on my salad
Excellent.
for lunch yesterday.
Yeah,
Very good.
Very good. All right. So that's the end of those questions. We hope we answered all of your concerns and questions. Please, 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 and I will make an eggplant parmesan in a video for you, and it will have vegan everything in it. Okay, if you want to ask a question, go to jillfortoday.com. I will leave a link down there. I'm going to leave a link down there for that crazy kid who's making all that fabulous plant-based foods. Eat more plants. And that's it.
Stay safe,
Stay safe.
stay healthy,
Stay healthy.
eat well,
Eat well.
drink.
Lots of
It
good
helps.
red wine. It does. That's what you
red-
can do while you're home.
Good red wine is salubrious when not taken in excess.
We love you all. And we're so glad. We are so glad that you're on this wacky ride we call.
Jill Verde?
No, you keep blowing your
Life.
mind. Life. We love you all. We'll see you next time.
Take care.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.